Hi, my friends. My video today is an observation of some highs and lows of this crisis we're dealing with now. We all have to have faith and hope and join together in this. I hope you enjoy this.
Good morning, friends, family, grandchildren, seniors. It's been a rough time for us all, hasn't it? It's been a little depressing, but as the weeks go on, I am finding that there are some bright spots to all of this. Yesterday started off as a little bit of a downer. My husband has been suffering for about 10 days now with severe pain in his hip and his knee. I think you might know that about a year and a half ago he fell, and it was a rough time. He broke the socket to his right hip and was in the hospital forever. There were all kinds of complications, in a nursing home for 5 months, and since then has been recovering slowly, and he's been on a rollator walking, but has never recovered complete mobility. And as a result, this hip side is starting to get pretty painful because he's not able to do too much exercise as well. So after quite a while, we were able to get an appointment for a doctor to be able to see this knee and perhaps give him some relief for the pain. And yesterday we started out to St. Jude's Hospital, wonderful hospital here in our area, and got in the car, and after self-isolating for almost 2 weeks, my battery was dead. And that was upsetting because we didn't want to be late. It had taken us so long to get this appointment. But good old AAA came and put a new battery in. Thank God he didn't have to pay for it. The other one was under warranty. So off we went, a little bit late, but that was fine. When we got to the hospital, and as we approached, it was a sad sight. First of all, not many cars on the road, no cars in the parking lot. I wheeled my husband in a wheelchair and was basically sent out of the hospital. We had masks on, but I couldn't accompany him to his appointment. And everyone was in masks. They took his temperature. We said goodbye. And I had to sit in the parking lot. It turned out to be several hours. But as I sat there, the sirens and the ambulances and fire trucks were going by every couple of minutes. There were big tents set up outside for emergency purposes, for testing people. But there was a bright side as well. And there was an area where people were pulling up in their cars, dropping off supplies. The hospital had put out a call for the public, anyone, beauty salons, hardware stores, private people, if anyone had any masks or gloves or disinfectant things, anything that could help the doctors and the nurses in these hospitals, please bring them in. And there were hordes of people doing this, which was so wonderful to see. And then when my husband finally came out and we got in the car, we took a different route on the way home. We drove through a neighborhood where some of my grandchildren and great-grandchildren live. And we started to see little children out in front of their houses, not with their friends, but maybe near them enough to holler across the street. But children were drawing on the sidewalks with colored chalk. And they were making rainbows, big rainbows in the driveways on their sidewalks. The mommies were sitting on the steps to the houses. The daddies were maybe cleaning out a garage or doing something. And all of a sudden, it occurred to me that life was going on. There was hope in the world, and the little ones, the young children, were a big, big part of it. Look for the rainbows. What a wonderful thing to do. I saw something on Facebook just a couple of days ago, and it was an article comparing what parents thought about what was happening 10 years from now in 2030, and what children, as they grew up 10 years later, thought about the same coronavirus crisis. The parents said, "Oh, we worried about the crisis with the economy. We worried about food being able to get into the stores. We worried about isolation. We worried about our children and homeschooling, and we didn't know how to handle it. We got on each other's nerves, but we got through it. And we worried, of course, about our own health and our health of our families." The children, however, who were now college-age kids, or perhaps even older or younger, said it was the best time of our lives. We were home with our parents. We sat at the dinner table every night with our family. We read books. We played board games. Our moms were happy. Our dads were around, and it was the happiest time of our lives. Isn't that interesting and wonderful to think of? I just loved it.
So if you've enjoyed our recording and our video today, please consider subscribing and thumbs up and give us your comments. We'll get through this together, and remember, the children will help. Look for the rainbows, everyone. They'll be there.